She won't always say it out loud, but her body will. Every curve, every look, every tiny move is a confession. The question is, are you paying attention? I'm Mary Smith, and welcome to the Mindful Senior Living YouTube channel. Today, we're stepping into something that most men overlook, even though it's happening right in front of them every single day. Female body language is not random, it's not accidental. It's a quiet, deeply psychological language that speaks long before words ever do. And I want to pause here for a moment because this isn't just about reading signals. This is about connection. This is about awareness. Think about your own life for a second. How many times have you walked away from a conversation wondering, was she interested or was I imagining it? That uncertainty, that hesitation, it doesn't come from lack of opportunity. It comes from not knowing how to interpret what's already being shown to you. And if you've ever felt that, you're not alone. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to start seeing things you've never noticed before. Now, before we go deeper, take a second to support the conversation. If you find yourself learning something new here, go ahead and like the video. It helps this message reach people who need it. And if you're not already part of this community, subscribe, because what we talk about here goes far beyond surface level advice. Let's begin with something simple, something subtle but incredibly revealing, the lip bite. You've seen it before, maybe without even realizing it mattered. You're in the middle of a conversation. She's listening, maybe smiling, maybe laughing, and then, just for a moment, she bites her lower lip. It's quick, almost invisible, but it's powerful. Psychologically, this is not random behavior. When attraction increases, blood flow to the lips increases as well, making them more sensitive and more noticeable. The lip bite becomes a way of managing that internal tension. It's not always deliberate. In fact, most of the time, it's completely unconscious. But it tells you something important. Her focus has shifted. She's no longer just processing your words. She's feeling something. I remember a story from a client I once worked with, a man in his late 50s. He told me about a conversation he had with a woman at a small dinner gathering. He said everything felt normal, polite, even slightly distant, until he noticed she kept biting her lip whenever their eyes met. He ignored it at first, thought nothing of it. Later, he found out she had been hoping he would ask her out that very night. The signal was there, he just didn't know how to read it. So here's something you can try. The next time you're in conversation, don't just listen to words. Watch the pauses. Watch what happens when silence fills the space. That's where the truth often lives. Now, let's talk about touch, because touch is where things start to shift from subtle to undeniable. Women don't typically initiate physical contact without a reason, so when it happens, even in small ways, it matters. It might start with something casual. She brushes something off your shoulder. She touches your arm when she laughs. She adjusts your collar. On the surface, it seems harmless, friendly, but psychologically, it's a test. A way of closing distance without making a bold move. There's a hormone called oxytocin, often referred to as the bonding hormone. It plays a key role in human connection. When attraction is present, oxytocin encourages closeness, and one of the easiest ways for that to show up is through touch. Even brief contact can create a sense of familiarity and warmth. And here's where it gets interesting. It's not just about whether she touches you, it's about how long she stays there. Does her hand linger for just a second longer than necessary? Does she find small reasons to initiate contact again and again? Think about it like a conversation without words. She reaches out. You respond not necessarily by speaking, but by how you receive it. If you pull away, the conversation ends. If you stay present, it continues. I want you to imagine a moment. You're sitting across from someone, maybe at a cafe, maybe at a quiet gathering. She laughs at something you say and places her hand gently on your arm, just for a second. But she doesn't pull away immediately. There's a pause. That pause is where the meaning lives. Now, something else begins to change when attraction builds. Movement. Specifically, the way she carries herself. her hips, her walk, the rhythm of her body. These are some of the oldest signals in human behavior. When a woman is aware of someone she's attracted to, her movement often becomes more deliberate, even if she's not consciously doing it. Her steps might slow down. Her posture might shift. There's a subtle emphasis on fluidity. This isn't about performance, it's instinct. Evolutionary psychology tells us that certain physical cues have been associated with attraction for thousands of years. The body knows how to communicate long before the mind decides what to say. And here's something to consider. The next time you see her walking toward you, ask yourself, does her movement change when she notices you? Is there a difference between how she walks when she thinks no one is watching versus when she knows you are? Because often, the difference is everything. Now let's move into something even more revealing, the eyes. If the body whispers, the eyes speak loudly. You've felt it before, that moment when eye contact lingers just a little too long. It's not uncomfortable, it's not accidental, it's charged. When attraction is present, pupils can dilate, eye contact becomes more frequent, more intense. But what matters most is the pattern. She looks at you, then looks away, then looks back again. It's a rhythm, a push and pull between curiosity and restraint. And here's a question I want you to sit with. When she looks at you, does it feel like she's just seeing you? Or does it feel like she's trying to understand you? Because those are two very different things. Stay with that thought. We're just getting started. We've explored the lip bite, the subtle touch, the way her hips move, and how her eyes speak before words ever do. Now let's turn to something even less obvious, but equally revealing, her legs. Many men overlook this completely, yet legs are some of the most honest messengers of desire. When a woman sits across from you, notice how her legs behave. Does she cross and uncross them more often than usual? Are her feet angled toward you instead of away? These are not idle movements. Psychologists call this displacement behavior. It's a subconscious release of tension, a signal that her mind and body are both engaged, sometimes in ways even she can't fully name. I recall a gentleman in his 60s who shared a story about attending a book club meeting. He mentioned a woman sitting across from him, lightly tapping her foot under the table, shifting in her seat, pointing her toes subtly toward him. At first, he dismissed it as fidgeting, but later he realized she was signaling interest in ways far more subtle than words could express. Her body was telling him, without ever saying it, that she was fully present and curious about him. Legs, much like the lips, are often honest before the mind can filter the message. When combined with other cues, like touch or glances, they form a pattern that can't easily be ignored. And here's the practical takeaway. Start observing patterns rather than isolated gestures. Look for repetition, for instinctual alignment. That's when the signals become unmistakable. Now let's talk about her voice, the way it changes without conscious effort. Attraction leaks into tone, tempo, and rhythm. Maybe she speaks slightly softer when she's addressing you. Maybe she slows down, elongates words, or dips just a touch lower than usual. Research shows women unconsciously adjust their pitch and tempo around someone they find attractive, creating warmth, approachability, and subtle intimacy. Consider the effect of this in your daily interactions. A soft laugh, a prolonged word, a gentle inflection. It all matters. In fact, her voice can act as an invisible bridge, pulling you closer before a single word about attraction is ever spoken. Think about how often you've been drawn in by laughter, or the way a simple hello can feel unexpectedly magnetic. That's her body and mind speaking in unison, a quiet dance of attention and desire. Another classic, often overlooked signal is her hair. Twirling it, brushing it behind her ear, letting it fall across her shoulders. These are unconscious acts of grooming rooted deeply in attraction. They serve a dual purpose. First, they draw attention to areas of the face and neck traditionally associated with beauty and health. Second, they communicate vulnerability and availability without a single explicit word. Here's a practical observation exercise. Notice how often she touches her hair around you versus around others. Is it fleeting, or does it seem purposeful, even unconsciously so? Each flick, each tuck, each gentle brush back is a subtle invitation, a silent cue that she's aware of your presence and wants you to notice. Closely tied to hair gestures is her body tilt, the natural lean towards someone she's interested in. Attraction is gravity, and her body demonstrates it every day. Watch her in a group setting. Does her shoulder angle subtly toward you, even when speaking with others? Does she lean in when you speak, closing the physical space between you? This tilt isn't about posture or etiquette, it's instinct. Studies show that humans unconsciously reduce distance toward people they feel safe with and attracted to, while instinctively increasing distance from those they wish to avoid. If her lean is toward you, it's an unspoken, "I want to be here with you" signal. And the best part? Often, she doesn't even realize she's doing it. Her body has already spoken. Let's dive into a psychological layer here. Attraction cues are not just visual or tactile, they also function as feedback loops. When you respond to these signals appropriately, maintaining eye contact, subtly mirroring posture, or even just remaining engaged, you reinforce her sense of safety and interest. It's a dance, an exchange of silent messages that builds tension, curiosity, and connection. Another powerful area to observe is micro-expression. You might notice fleeting smiles, tiny eyebrow lifts, or the brief catching of her breath when your presence surprises or delights her. Micro-expressions last only a fraction of a second, but they reveal genuine emotion faster than words ever could. They are unfiltered, raw, and highly informative if you know how to notice them. And here's an actionable tip. Practice slowing down your observations. In conversation, give yourself permission to quietly notice her gestures without immediately reacting. Let the small cues register. Over time, you'll start to see patterns emerging, gestures, glances, touches, all pointing toward the truth of her attraction. We're not done yet. Let's explore one of the most overlooked but telling cues, her breathing. When a woman is interested, her breathing can subtly change around someone she finds attractive. It may become a little quicker, a little deeper, or pause when she laughs at something you say. This is a physiological response tied to both excitement and attention. Pay attention not just to what she's saying, but how she's saying it. Her body has a rhythm that speaks louder than words, and here's where it all starts connecting. Lip bites, touches, eye contact, tilts, micro-expressions, shifts in voice, hair gestures, and even breathing. They are not random. They form a pattern, a language. And when you begin to recognize this language, you gain access to something most men never notice, a woman's authentic subconscious expressions of interest. Imagine the difference this can make. Instead of wondering whether she's interested, you begin to understand her attention. You start seeing the rhythm of attraction, noticing the signs that reveal what her mind is already saying, but her lips are not yet brave enough to speak. It's subtle, it's psychological, and it's profoundly revealing. Now, before we continue, if this is opening your eyes to patterns you've missed, give this video a like. Drop a comment sharing a subtle signal you've noticed in someone's behavior before. It helps create a community where we decode these mysteries together. And of course, if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button so we can continue exploring these hidden layers of human psychology. Now that we've explored the subtle cues, lip bites, touch, eye contact, hair gestures, tilts, and even breathing, it's time to dive deeper into how all these signals combine to create a story her body is telling, often without her conscious awareness. Understanding this story is like learning to read a language that's older than words themselves. It's instinct, biology, and psychology rolled into one. Let's begin with movement and energy. When a woman is attracted to you, her energy subtly shifts. It's not just in how she walks or leans, it's in the micro movements of her hands, the rhythm of her gestures, even the way she tilts her head when listening. This energy signals curiosity, engagement, and openness. Psychologists call this behavioral synchrony, the unconscious mirroring of attention, emotion, and interest. If she mirrors your posture or gestures, even unconsciously, it's one of the most reliable indicators that she feels a connection. Here's an actionable exercise. Next time you're in a conversation, gently notice whether she mirrors your movements. Do you cross your legs and she does too shortly after? Do you lean in and her body responds? These are subconscious signs that she's emotionally and physiologically attuned to you. It's her way of saying, I'm engaged, I'm present, I notice you. Now let's revisit her hands, because hands tell stories more honest than words. Beyond small touches or adjustments, watch for gestures that signal nervous energy or interest. A woman might play with a ring, adjust her bracelet, or touch her neck. These aren't idle habits. They are subtle signals of self-awareness and attraction. She's preparing herself, subconsciously presenting her best self, highlighting features she knows are attractive and drawing your attention without ever speaking about it. I once worked with a client, a man in his early 60s, who shared an experience that illustrates this perfectly. He met a woman at a local art class. She frequently brushed her hair back, touched her neck, and adjusted her scarf, but only when he was nearby. At first, he assumed it was nervous habit. Later, he realized that each gesture coincided with moments of direct eye contact. Her body was sending messages he had previously ignored: interest, nervous excitement, and silent invitation. Let's talk about another often overlooked signal: her laugh. Laughter is powerful because it's both social and physiological. A woman may laugh more freely around someone she finds attractive, or her laugh may change in tone and duration. It may be softer, lighter, or even slightly breathier. This is biology at work. Laughter releases endorphins, signals openness, and subtly creates intimacy. A practical tip: pay attention to how her laughter behaves when you're present versus when you're not. Is she more animated, more present, more expressive? These changes are subconscious and reveal more than casual conversation ever could. It's not about analyzing every giggle. It's about noticing patterns, the rhythm, the energy she radiates when near you. Now consider the role of personal space. Attraction isn't just visual or verbal, it's spatial. When a woman likes someone, she naturally reduces the distance between herself and that person. This isn't forced. It's instinctual. She might lean slightly closer when speaking, tilt her shoulder toward you, or position herself in a way that closes the gap just enough to signal interest without overtly stating it. Psychologists call this proxemics, the study of personal space and how it communicates intention. Here's an exercise. Observe her spatial behavior. Does she shift toward you even when talking to others? Does she maintain eye contact while leaning subtly into your space? These are silent, consistent confirmations that she wants connection. And again, she may not even realize she's doing it. Her body leads, her mind follows. Let's bring in one more layer: her reactions to your presence versus others. Attraction is comparative. You can observe the difference between how she interacts with you versus with friends, colleagues, or strangers. Is her attention more focused on you? Are her gestures, touches, glances, and energy subtly more intense or frequent around you? When you start noticing these contrasts, patterns emerge. It becomes clear, even undeniable, that her body is revealing her interest. I want to give you a concrete scenario. Imagine a dinner gathering. She's laughing, chatting, and engaged with everyone. But every time you speak, her posture shifts slightly, her eyes find yours, her hands graze subtly against her face or hair, and her laugh becomes just a touch softer or more melodic. These small changes form a symphony of attraction, a rhythm you can feel if you pay attention. And it's not just about noticing, it's about responding. When her body is giving these signals, your awareness, attentiveness, and subtle reciprocation create a feedback loop. This isn't manipulation, it's psychology. Humans are wired to respond to connection. By noticing, you're acknowledging her signals, reinforcing comfort and trust, and creating a space where attraction can grow naturally. Another aspect often missed is her subtle expressions of patience or anticipation. Notice micro pauses, moments when she lingers in conversation, or slight hesitations that seem intentional. Psychologists suggest that these micro delays often reflect cognitive processing tied to desire and attraction. She's assessing, she's anticipating, and she's unconsciously signaling whether her interest is matched by yours. Finally, let's discuss the power of narrative. Every small gesture, lip bites, touches, eye contact, posture, hair, tilt, laugh, is part of a larger story. When you start noticing how these elements interact, you'll realize it's not about one single signal. It's about a pattern, a rhythm, a story her body is telling consistently over time. And the more consistent it is, the clearer the message becomes. She's interested, engaged, and curious. Before we move to the next layer of signals, if this is resonating, go ahead and hit that like button. Share in the comments one subtle behavior you've noticed that you didn't understand before. And remember, subscribing ensures you won't miss the deeper insights into these fascinating psychological patterns. Now that we've unpacked her subtle cues, gestures, and energy, it's time to explore how attraction fully integrates, how the body, mind, and psychology create a network of signals that are almost impossible to hide. By now, you're starting to see that every glance, every tilt, every tiny movement is part of a coherent story. But there's more, deeper layers that reveal desire, interest, and genuine connection. Let's start with the concept of anticipation. Attraction isn't just about what happens in a single moment, it's about the tension building over time. You'll notice small things, the way she pauses before responding, the quickening of her breath, the brief flicker of a smile before her lips fully curve. These micro moments are powerful because they indicate her mind is processing more than just conversation. She's processing you. Her thoughts are active, engaged, and often reflecting desire. An exercise you can do: observe the subtle micro behaviors over the course of a conversation. Does she lean forward slightly when you talk about yourself? Do her hands unconsciously find ways to touch her face or hair more when she's reacting to you? Each repeated gesture compounds meaning. Patterns emerge, and with them, clarity. Next, let's explore facial expressions in detail. Beyond smiles, eyebrow lifts, or quick glances, watch for micro expressions, tiny shifts in her eyes, the faint tension around the mouth, or the brief lift of her chin. Psychologists have found that these micro expressions reveal emotions too subtle for words. They're raw, unfiltered, and often unconscious indicators of interest and attraction. For example, a split-second smile when your gaze meets hers can signify genuine enjoyment and emotional connection, even if she's trying to play it cool. We also need to revisit the voice, because vocal signals often amplify every other cue. When she's attracted, her voice not only shifts in pitch or tone, it interacts with your own voice rhythm. Conversation becomes a subtle dance. She might pause slightly longer after your words, mirror your rhythm, or adjust inflections in a way that signals warmth and receptiveness. This is one of the most psychologically fascinating aspects of human interaction. Our voices unconsciously synchronize when attraction and trust are present. Let's not forget touch at a deeper level. Beyond casual brushing or small gestures, there's a gradient of intimacy in her contact. Think about when she touches your arm, your hand, or leans slightly into your space. Psychologists describe this as a nonverbal escalation of comfort and attraction. Each subtle touch tests the boundaries of closeness, inviting you to respond, and her body often monitors your reactions closely. A receptive response encourages further engagement, while pulling away signals disinterest. This dynamic, repeated over time, forms a quiet but powerful conversation without words. Now, let's talk about alignment. The way her body naturally orients toward you. Feet, shoulders, head tilt, and even her torso often reveal her focus. When she positions herself so her feet point toward you, her shoulders angle in, or she subtly leans forward, she's signaling attention and interest. These aren't conscious decisions. They're instinctual, shaped by thousands of years of evolutionary psychology. Her body literally chooses what it wants before her words do. I remember a story from a man who shared his experience at a community dance. He noticed a woman frequently adjusted her hair, leaned slightly toward him when he spoke, and her feet were consistently angled in his direction. At first, he thought he was imagining it, but later she revealed she had been attracted to him for weeks. Her body had been speaking clearly the whole time, he just learned to read it. Another deep layer is emotional mirroring. This goes beyond gestures and voice. It's the way she responds to your emotional state. If you share a story or laugh, does she reflect your energy? Subtle mimicry of your expressions is an indicator of empathy and engagement. Psychology shows that humans unconsciously synchronize with people they are emotionally drawn to, creating connection and mutual understanding at a nonverbal level. And here's a powerful insight. All these signals, gestures, eye contact, posture, voice, energy, touch, alignment, are most revealing when combined. One isolated action might be ambiguous, but when you see repetition across multiple channels, it's a coherent narrative. Her body is telling you a story of attraction, desire, and attention. You just have to learn to read it. Finally, let's address confidence in response. When you notice these cues, how you respond matters as much as observing. Maintaining calm awareness, showing interest subtly, and mirroring her energy can strengthen the connection. Responding with patience and respect creates a psychological environment where attraction can flourish naturally. It's not about manipulation. It's about recognizing the signals and engaging authentically. Think of it this way. Her lip bite, her glance, the tilt of her head, the flick of her hair, the way her voice softens. All of these are invisible threads weaving a story. Each signal reinforces the next, building a tapestry of desire and engagement. When you start to see the full picture, you stop wondering about her intentions. You begin to understand them with clarity. So here's the truth. Women rarely spell it out. But their bodies, their expressions, their subtle energy, it's all there, screaming with meaning. Every glance, every shift, every touch is a confession. Once you learn to read it, you'll never be blind to it again. You'll notice patterns you missed for years, and you'll understand what she's thinking long before she says a word. If this video opened your eyes, make sure to hit that like button. Share your experiences in the comments. Maybe a subtle signal you noticed that you didn't understand at first. And don't forget to subscribe to Mindful Senior Living and tap the bell icon. There's a world of insight into human connection waiting, and together we're going to uncover it step by step.